Hi, my name is Ron Lehman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland, where I teach decorative painting workshops. Today I'm going to show you a really cool finish using our Toscano acrylic Venetian plaster to create this really nice southwestern style plaster. Let's get our tools, let's get our materials, and let's get started. So the first thing I've done to get ready is base coat the surface. Today we're using Toscano, the acrylic Venetian plaster. So that means we can work over top of any flat surface. It could be a primer, it could be a paint, it's just got to be flat. No low sheen, no eggshell, no satin, no semi-gloss, flat only. Because I have so much of it here, I just base coated using our quartz primer. The quartz is the proprietary lime-based primer. We use it, it's interior, exterior, tints with pigment, never paint. Pigment, never paint. I rolled it on with a 1/4" nap roller, and that'll get us ready for the Toscano finish. Toscano plaster, interior only, tints with pigment, never paint. Paint will destroy the product and it's worthless. So tint it with pigment. It can be liquid pigments, powdered pigments, pigments. Toscano is an interior only. I think I said that once. I'm going to say it again. Interior only. Acrylic. Tints with pigment. Cleans up with soap and water. The first thing we're going to do is apply our base coat of plaster, our bed coat. And what we're going to do is use our high quality stainless steel Pavon Venetian trowel. Keep them clean. Very clean. These are sharp. We use this one because it's filtered plaster, a smooth, creamy plaster. So we don't use our texturing trowels or else it's going to leave scratch marks. So the first color is going to be a dark gold color. And I will put the colors down in the notes because I went to Sherwin-Williams and just used they just tinted it up for me. So what we're going to do is put a bed coat down first, 100% coverage, stir it up really well. I thought I had it stirred up before I sat down, but I didn't. Well, I did, but not properly. So a little bit of plaster on my trowel like so. There's my ceiling line. It'll come down. If this is the other wall, adjacent wall, a little bit of junk on there. Scrape it off. Yeah, that was in the primer. Okay. The plaster goes about 300 square feet, about 250 to 300 square feet per gallon, using a 2-coat application. There's my corner or my other wall, and I'm just going to put it on there. That grittiness that you're hearing under the trowel, that's the primer. This stuff is hard as a rock. Now, because it's not a traditional finish, this is more of a decorative finish. We don't have to follow the traditional smooth polished plaster technique, but we still follow the basic rules. Wet to dry. We don't want this real sloppy, but we're not trying to go for that super smooth finish. So we just want some nice interest. That's a real pretty gold color. Okay. So we're going to get that first coat on, and because it's an acrylic, it has to dry 100% before we can move on. So that finishes that. Let's let it dry. We'll come back and do the next steps. I'll see you just after this. Okay, first coat's dry. Let's give it a second coat. Same color, using this dark gold color. But this time we're going to kind of do more of a like a crosshatch, meaning we're going to kind of put our plaster on like this, like X's. See that? It's going to give us a little bit different look. The interest is going to be totally different than one of the things I've done in previous videos. So it's going to just kind of cross-hatch. I know. How do you get in the corner doing that? You just have to take your time. That's, I hate to be that way, but you know, I never wanted to hear that answer when I was a kid from my dad. How am I going to get to the corners? How am I going to do this? Take your time. But I want to do it now. Alright, so crosshatch. Just be careful you don't get too many trowel marks. Still working that wet to dry look, but this is going to give us a completely different effect. We're just making sure, see that? I don't want a hard line from my trowel blade. So, and the angle on my blade is still the same angle I pretty much always use. If I tilt it sideways, I'm about 2 fingers off the surface. Oops, still plenty on there. Now, the other thing I want you to notice, the Toscano plaster, can you see that versus that? Meaning, what is dry versus wet? Dry is about 40%, 30 to 40% lighter. Some colors are going to dry completely different, so always test your colors first before you just stick them on that wall, unless you order it pre-tinted from here. Even if you take it to the paint store and say, well, the guy on the video said always do a dry sample before you put it on the wall. Always do a dry sample before you put it on the wall. Okay, so we're going to finish that off. 100% coverage, just like before. Now, something I'm noticing, I'm getting into an area here where I'm getting some black marks, so I'm using a little bit too much pressure. So I'm almost on the verge of having, with this color being so soft, a plastic or Lexan trowel. Okay? That's it for that coat. Let's let it dry, 100%, come back, and then we're going to put the light gold over top of it. I'll see you after this dries. Okay, it's dry. Now we can move on. So this next application, same trowel, different color. This is a light gold color. Probably, if I had to just, without telling you the colors, it's about 50% of the intensity of the color of the base color. Going to do the same thing we just did, same kind of technique, the crosshatch, same trowel, but we're going to pull it tighter because we want to see some of that coming through, is the idea. So some areas like here it got a little thicker. I didn't pull it too tight. Got to pull it tight. See, I'm going to get that off of there. There we go. So we want to see our base color poking through is the idea. So yeah, I'm going to have to put a little bit more pressure on here. I can't do it that way today. All right. Now, once that sets up, we can burnish it just a little bit. We don't need to go crazy because we don't want it. This is more of an old world, kind of a rustic look. So I put it on that tight. I can get right into it and burnish it right up. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Remember, acrylic, not lime, so it's not going to get that super, super mirror gloss finish that we're used to with the lime plasters. But where are you? Light's not cooperating. There we are. Hello. So yeah, we can still get it pretty glossy. And that was just that quick. I didn't put a lot of time into it. Let's put a little bit more into it. Now once it's 100% dry, we're going to wax it. And what I did today, I took the clear Italian polishing wax, which is an interior exterior wax. Cleans up with mineral spirits. It'll clean off your hands and your tools with soap and water. It's not a big deal. And I tinted to a walnut color. And I did that with the pigments. And I'll put the recipe for changing that. Basically, all I did was I used the universal pigments, and I get the ones from Color Trend, just like the paint stores. I took the brown, the black, and a pinch of what's that color? It's a dark red, maroon. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry 100%. I'm gonna come back and wax it up. I'll see you just after it dries. Completely dry. Got a little shinier, a little glossier as it dried down. Probably about the same as before. Yeah, I don't know what angle you got it though. There we go. Oh well, you get the idea. Nice and shiny. Not that we really wanted it too shiny, but it's shiny. So the wax, like I said, I made this color up, and it's just in playing with colors over time. Taking a classing or watching some videos from somebody that's already done, you know, taken some time and done it. So, trowel, wax, and you know what? This is a dark color, so we're going to go back to my rule of protective layer of clear wax. Because this is a dark color and it could go wrong like that. And my luck here lately today, it could very well do that. Clear wax. Just put a base, it's a protective layer. And that way when we go to put that walnut on there, we can control it and it can't control us. So you've seen it a couple times before, just trowel it on a nice thin coat. You know, it's just always better to be safe than sorry. Get the excess off of here. I'm going to take the old lint-free, color-free rag. We don't want anything with color in it because the wax, being what it is, could pull the color out and change the color of our plaster. We don't want that. Just going to hit it real quick to close it up so it's a shiny surface that I can work into. Alright, now walnut wax. Where'd you go? Here it is. See how dark that is? If I didn't put that clear wax on there, that would have been a huge, huge mistake. That's what I get. Almost got ahead of myself. Can you see that? The plaster cracked a little bit. It kind of just works for this old look. Alright, so before that dries, I'm going to come in here and pull some of this out. Even though that plaster is super smooth, the wax and trowel tell us it's really not. So I'm just going to kind of come in and get some of the wax out of these areas that I think are too thick. Trowel back over it to gather it up and compress it into there, because what happens is when that rag goes over, it's kind of pulling, smearing. We don't want that. Alright, let's see what it looks like when we polish it. I pull the wax so tight that I can just go right into it. Alright, I'm going to pull the tape and I'm going to come back and we'll look at the finished product and see what we got. Pulled the tape, got the black border on the board. Really nice. This is like a really nice rustic plaster, kind of like a, I don't want to say a Southwest, but it's more of a Southwest style color combination. See that? Look at that. Can't get my mug in this thing today at all. There we go. But see, look at that. It's a pretty finish. Now, one of the things I could do, well, I mean, there's so many things you can do. It's endless. It's endless. The things you can do with these things, sometimes it'll hurt your head, make your head spin. This could be, I mean, any room. I could see, you know, you're going for that nice rustic look, even a couple of cracks. Now, the cracks are unpredictable, so sometimes the best way to get the cracks, take a hairdryer, hold it on that spot, hold it away, and watch it start to crack. And the closer and the hotter you get it, the faster it dries, the bigger the cracks can become, but you still can't control it. But that's one way you can play with those cracks. And the wax just goes in there, fills it in real nice. That's it. That's pretty. That's the finish right there. Just again, Toscano plaster. Possibilities are endless. So, I want to thank you for watching. My name is Ron Lehman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland. If you get a chance, go to the website, thefauxschool.com. See if you want to purchase some products. Check out the classes I have to offer, or hire me to come out and take care of your house for you. And I'll see you next time.